Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, and it is Focus Friday. We have made it, guys. Excuse me. We have made it to the end of another work week. I hope you are excited about that, like I am. We have been motivated on Monday. We have transformed on Tuesday. We've woken up and been intentional on Wednesday. And we've been thankful and showed our gratitude on Thursday. And now it is Focus Friday. We are getting ready to put it all together and prepare to end the week strong and start to think about the weekend and rest and relaxation. Focus on yourself, focus on your self care, and then getting ready for the new week because it never ends, does it? We move from one day to the next. And that's why those periods of rest are so important. So I hope you are in a position and ready to end the week strong. Take a look back at what you've accomplished, cheer yourself on, congratulate yourself on a week well spent, and focus on how you want to wrap things up on Friday. And then over the weekend, focus on yourself, focus on your family, focus on the things that bring you joy. And then we'll start all over again next week. But what's the big deal about focus? Why are we so concerned, or why am I so concerned about focus and trying to bring you into the fold with me? Hello, Alom Emmanuel from uh, LinkedIn. I see you joining today, and I appreciate seeing you here. And we are talking about focus this morning. It's the morning for me. I'm not sure where you are in the world. I also see quite a few people scrolling through from TikTok. Stop scrolling. Come on in. We are live, happy, excited for it went to be ending the work week, and we're going to end it with a conversation around focus. Why is improving focus a big deal? Why do we care? Why are we focusing on focus? Because it's essential to our productivity, for one. It helps with us to learn better, and it helps you to achieve the goals that you have for yourself. Alom, is it Alom? Is it Alome? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so forgive me for the mispronunciation. But I see you're from Nigeria. Me and my husband did late last year the ancestry.com, and I learned that the majority of my DNA is Nigerian. So the next thing I want to do is plan a trip there so I can start to learn more about that part of my ancestry. I know nothing about my African ancestry because I was born and raised in America and had no ties back there other than the spiritual ties. So I am looking forward to learning more about Nigeria, the cuisine, seeing the beauty of it, and seeing if I can find people who really look like me. So I'm excited about that. So welcome. Um, so back to focus. I'm sorry, I had a little tangent there because I get excited every time I see Nigeria. We were talking about focus and why it's important. The second, so Alome, that is so beautiful. Have you guys ever really heard African words and names spoken? They're like music. It's like his name sounds like a song to me. It's just beautiful. And the more I can learn about that, the more I feel like I will be grounded and at home in the world, because that's a big part of my life that I don't know anything about. So again, welcome. All right, so improving focus. I'm struggling today. I'm not very focused, right? Uh, what I'd mentioned was that it's essential to our productivity. It's essential to us learning, and it helps us in achieving our goals, because where you focus, where you put your energy, where you put your attention is where things will happen. And a lot of times we're worried, we're anxious, we have all these negative emotions going on because we're focused on what might be, or we're focused on what didn't happen, what we don't have. We can make a slight adjustment. If we could make just the slightest adjustment and bring that focus into the present. I recently trademarked an acrostic for fear. And for me, fear is a false um I'm just, oh, fantasy explosion. I almost went to the old, we've all heard about false evidence appearing real. That's not the acrostic I'm talking about. It's a fantasy explosion altering reality. Good morning, Cassie. It's great to see you back in TikTok land. So fear, the reason I call it a fantasy is because the majority of the time when we're fearful, it's worried about something that may happen. It's thinking into the present and trying to figure out how we can plan for this thing that may never actually come. And when we get into that fear state, it is like an explosion. Our thoughts just run and go and they're all over the place. And before you know it, we're acting as if that thing that we're fearful of that may happen in the future, we're acting as if it's happening right now, and we allow it to alter our reality. So my reality of what's happening right now, I'm not acting as if I'm not present. So I'm not connected to what's happening right now. I am behaving as if this thing that I'm afraid of has already come to be. So I don't have the pleasure, I don't have the joy, I don't even have the mental fortitude to experience my reality and live where life is actually happening. I'm somewhere in the present, or I'm stuck in the past, which is just as bad. Our past is to inform us, to teach us so that we can make better decisions in the present. And our future is to give us hope. Because if things are not going as we would like them in the present, we have the opportunity to make some adjustments and alter what's actually going to happen. But if we're so focused on the issue, we're focused on the problem, we're focused on what may be, we lose that opportunity completely. It's gone. So fantasy explosion altering reality. It's a book that I'm writing. It'll be coming before the end of this year for sure. I'm hoping in the next few months I'll finish it and get it out, because I really want to tap in to fear and tap into where we focus and what we focus on. If you focus on right now, if you focus on what you're experiencing now, you give yourself the opportunity to make good decisions, to make clear, sound decisions. When you're worried about the future or stuck in the past, you're primarily operating out of emotion. And those emotions can keep you anxious and or depressed and all those negative things that we want to avoid. The present is where it's at. It's the only place where life is happening. The future is not promised and the past is over. If you can figure out, you're going in. How do we do we focus? One of the ways that you can focus, thank you. I see someone on TikTok. I can't see your name, but I so appreciate the rose. Um, how do you improve focus? First thing you can do is minimize distractions. How do you do that? You want to eliminate and reduce internal as well as external distractions. I have a place right here where I work. My lights are set up. I've got a mic right here. The door is closed. So I don't typically have family running in and out because they know this time every morning I'm here and I'm spending it with you guys. Hot and sweaty for sure because I just came from the gym, but this is the time that I've got set aside. So it's focused time, and it's dedicated and it's free of distractions. I don't even have a lot of stuff around me, so I don't want to pick up something, have something. I try to remember to put my phone on D&D so it doesn't ring. I try to get the distractions out of the way so that the task at hand is what I'm focused on. You can also practice mindfulness. There's things that you can do, and I encourage you guys to really read about it, do some searching. I'm going to show you a really simple movement. It's just taking your finger, your forefinger and your thumb, putting them together and rubbing. This is such a small motion. If I'm in a meeting or I'm talking to somebody and I find myself starting to get upset, I can put my hand under my desk or right by my side. I can do this and nobody would ever notice. But what it does is it helps you to focus. It helps you to center yourself. It helps you to get um your emotions under control. Good morning, Christy Carter. Thanks for joining. And so you want to, when you feel yourself starting to spiral out a little bit, start to get frustrated, whatever the case may be, you can literally just for a moment rub those fingers together. And while you're rubbing them together, just think about the sensation of your fingers rubbing, and focus on that so much that you can actually feel the ridges in your skin. When you get to the point to where you feel the ridges in your skin, you know that you're really locked in, because our fingers are they appear to be pretty smooth. Unless you've done a lot of work with your hands, they appear to be really smooth, but they're not. There is little fine ridges all over our fingertips. And if you can just rub those fingers together and just allow yourself to focus in and feel those ridges, by what feels like magic, you'll start to calm down. You'll start to focus on just that, and everything else kind of falls away. And it allows you to separate yourself from your emotions long enough to get them under control. And then you get the pause you need so you can get your brain going again and make a mindful decision, say something mindful versus acting out of emotion. So it allows you to get just enough space between you and whatever is going on to respond instead of react. When we react, that's an emotional thing. We may come out blazing, but when you actually take a moment, take a breath, give yourself just a beat, rub those fingers together. If you have more time, or if you need a little bit more, you can actually do the all the fingers. But just giving yourself a few minutes to breathe and relax before you speak may be just the thing you need to control how you represent yourself, because that's we're representing ourselves all the time, and you get to decide how you show up in every situation. There's been a thing that's been going around for several years, and you've probably heard me say this before about matching energy. I am not an energy matcher. I try to set the energy in the room. I don't match somebody else's energy. Just because you're having a bad day, just because you're showing up, you're short, you have whatever going on, I don't feel like my response needs to match that response, because that's not how I want to represent myself. So I choose to not match energy, but to set the energy. If you're acting out and I'm responding calmly, there's a chance that you may bring it down. You have that opportunity at least. But if you don't, now I've got the opportunity to separate myself from you, because I don't have to be in any environment that I don't want to be in. I don't have to allow anybody to talk to me any particular way. I have boundaries. And when they're crossed, I have a decision to make. And so, as long as I'm focused in on what's important to me, how I am comfortable, then I can make good choices about how I spend my time, how I show up. And mindfulness can really, really help you. We always want a situation where we're responding and not reacting. Our reactions are typically out of control, and we want to be in control. Another thing with this exercise is you're just kind of taking a break. That's a really quick break. That's a mental break. You may need more than that. If you've been sitting for a long time, if you've had a difficult conversation, if something's not going the way you want, or you've been at something for so long that you just feel your mind wandering, take a break. If you can, go outside. You gone? Okay. Take a break, go outside, um, and and just give yourself a few minutes. Feel the ground underneath your feet, feel the sun on your face, the wind on your face. If it's cool, get that cool breeze, whatever the case may be. But do what you need to do so that you can take that break, allow your brain to rest, and then you come back to the activity recharged and ready to tap in. So there's a lot to be said about a break. It's different than quitting. Sometimes you get so frustrated, you just throw your hands up in the air and I'm done. You don't have to do it that way and bring in a negative connotation. You can just say, I've done a lot, or I'm struggling focusing. I deserve a break. It's time for a break, and make it a positive. You're rewarding yourself for what you've done up to that point instead of punishing yourself for having a little bit of a difficulty tapping in. So you're just going to walk away. It may just be standing up, go grab a glass of water, whatever it is that can allow you to recharge your battery a little bit. If you're lucky enough to be in a position where you can take a power nap, get your 15 minutes, recharge your battery, and then get back in. But a break is important. Another thing I just mentioned, I just came from exercise. When I tell y'all my mind is going 90 miles an hour and I'm so full of energy, I could jump up and down. And I've worked out for about an hour this morning. But exercise gets the adrenaline going. It gives you those positive emotions. You have the endorphins. I'm an endorphin chaser. It is a natural high. You naturally feel good when you move your body and when you work up a sweat. It does all kinds of good things, not just for you physically, but mentally. Another thing to help focus is to get enough sleep. I did not do that very well last night. When you're a creative, sometimes the mind just starts to go, and you're in the flow. And I was like that last night, and I was working on a class that I'm building, and I was just slide after slide after slide trying to get all the notes and things I wanted to say together, and it was hard for me to go to sleep. And I knew I had to get up this morning because I'm committed to my exercise routine. So I got about 5 hours of sleep. Not bad, but not good enough. I should get closer to 8. So what's going to happen about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon? I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to have to shut down and take a nap and start all over. So I will listen to my body. Is this is this called presence of mind? Yes, it is called presence of mind. Thanks for asking that question. And that's exactly what I was talking about. When you're doing something like this, or when you're being focused, you're bringing your mind into the present. You're focused on right here, right now. So yes, presence of mind is very important. It's here and now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Being present. All right, and then the other thing that can really help you focus is if you've got a bunch of things that you need to get done. That's most of us, right? We always have a to-do list. You're welcome. That whether it's a long one or whatever, mental or physical to-do list, prioritize the list. um there, I read somewhere where I can't even remember who it was now, but it was, oh shoot, it's left my mind, but it's one guy who has accomplished so much, and he does a lot of leadership development and things like that. And what he tries to do is he has people make a list, write down everything that you'd absolutely like to do, you need to get done. And then you take that list and you circle the most important 5 things, and then you split your list up. Those 5 are on one list, and then the rest are on a second list, and you put that second list aside and you absolutely don't deal with it until those 5 things are done, however long that takes you. But it allows you to focus. You've made a prioritization of what's the most important things to get done, and then you focus on those much smaller lists instead of this long laundry list that you know of all the things. That helps you to not be so overwhelmed. If you get the smaller things done, the smaller list done, you've got the second list ready for you right there. You do it all over again. Okay, these 5 are done. Here's the remaining list. Let me circle the most important 5 right now on this list. Split it up. That's your new to-do list. And so it's okay to have what feels like an overwhelming amount of things to do. But if you focus on the whole thing, it's hard to get anything done. So you want to break it down into the prioritization of those top 5, and that will help you get going. Someone on Facebook is saying, good morning. I am doing well. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining in. And thanks for joining, Victoria. Mindfulness, learned a new technique with the finger exercise. I'm glad. Try it. And Victoria and I work together. So I know how stressful her job can be sometimes. So Victoria, when we actually are really stressed, we've got something we can do to work through those situations. I use it all the time, and it's really really helpful. All right, so prioritizing your task is very very important. We get so overwhelmed with all the things that we have to do that sometimes it can paralyze us and we do absolutely nothing. We're just focused on, oh my God, there's just so much. So knocking it down to your top 5, and you can even prioritize those 1 through 5 and work through the list that way. This is the most important thing I need to do today. If I get this one thing done or these 2 things done, then I've had a successful day. And you've got something to look back on at the end of your day, and and cheer yourself on. And then you just keep working your way down your list. If you're looking at the whole, before you know it, you're like, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't even know where to start. This will help you get started. And then there's some, we talked about exercise, we talked about sleep, and the reason that comes up when it come when I talk about focus is you have to take care of yourself. That self-care, those routines and taking care of your body is paramount. It's so important if you're going to be able to focus. If you're tired, if you're hungry, if you're not well hydrated, that has not only a physical, but it has emotional effects as well. And you just can't deal as well as you typically do. You before you know it, you're short tempered, you're unfocused and all over the place. And just making those little adjustments and making yourself a priority will help you show up as the best version of yourself everywhere else. So exercise, eat well, stay hydrated. Dehydration makes us tired. It gives us brain fog, and that makes us not able to focus. So just something as simple as drinking enough water throughout the day, which I don't know about Nigeria, where I know I've got somebody watching, and other places in the world, but in the US, the majority of us are dehydrated. We go to it's just we don't drink enough water. And just that, replacing one of your sodas or juices or energy drinks or whatever that it is, that coffee, whatever it is that you spend your day with, replace one of those with a bottle of water, just one, and start to build it up. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So don't just wake up one day and go, I am going to drink a gallon of water a day for the rest of my life. You may be able to do that for a little while, but then you get bored, or you're tired of being waterlogged. You're tired of running to the bathroom. And before you know it, you're back to your old routine. It's better to improve a little bit at a time. That's more sustainable. So decide what it is you want to accomplish, and then slowly work that into your routine, and it becomes a part of how you move through your day versus some big project that won't last long. That's where we go wrong with a lot of our New Year's resolutions and things like that. It's big, it's grandiose. I'm gonna, boil the ocean. You'd be okay just doing one small pot of water at a time, and then do a little bit bigger pot, and then a little bit bigger. And before you know it, the ocean is boiling. But if you try to start with the ocean, you'll burn yourself out, you'll get frustrated, you'll give up, and then you go back to old behaviors. Guess who I'm talking to most right now? Myself. I've seen it time and time again. We go through these, we get so excited. We make these big resolutions. We stick to it for just a little while, and then bam, we're right back to it. Let's see. All right. I'm going to ignore that comment. Practice single tasking. We live in a world where we have been taught, quite a few of us, that multitasking is the way to go. The more things we can do at once, the better off we are. I challenge that, and a lot of people have challenged it as well. Um, because when you're multitasking, you're only giving a little bit of yourself to each task. You are not focused, and that's the word for the day. You're not focused on either one of them. So neither of those tasks are getting your full attention, and before you know it, you're fumbling the ball, because you're all over the place. I've got this going on, I've got that going on. And I think it was, what was the example I used last week? Oh, imagine yourself being in the kitchen. You're making a dinner, spaghetti. You're on the phone, and you're trying to watch a recording of your favorite TV show. So all those things are happening at once. They're all happening at once, but the brain is not really able to focus on all of that at one time. You're either you've the what's happening on the phone has pulled you in, and you're really into that conversation, so you're missing what's being said on the TV, and you're not realizing that your spaghetti is boiling over. Or maybe you're so focused on the spaghetti, and you're preparing your meal, so you're not even really hearing what's being said to you on the phone or what's happening on the TV. So we fool ourselves when we think we're multitasking. We may have a bunch of activities going on, but we're not really focused on more than one at a time. So with that being said, it makes more sense to just do the one at a time whenever you can, whenever it's possible. Single task, hone in, and that way you're present and you have a good conversation with the person on the phone. When you're preparing your meal, you're not over seasoning, you're not over boiling the spaghetti, you're not burning the sauce. And when you're watching your favorite show, you're actually locked in, you're allowed to enjoy it, you get to rest, you get to relax. And but trying to do all of those at one time, something is missing all the time. So don't fool yourself into thinking. You have some people who take a lot of pride in that. I'm a great multitasker. Okay, you've got a lot of things going on, but at any point in time, only one of those things really have your attention. Make peace with that and make the most of it and do each one of those things well. All right. What else do we want to say about focus? In order for you to really be focused, you have to know what it is you want, what it is you're trying to achieve. So set your goals, write them down, have a deadline associated with them, because without a deadline, it's just a dream. So you want to write clear goals. They have to be concise. It's not that I want a car. I want a red car that's four doors, that has a sunroof, blah, 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 blah. Get into the details. Really be specific about what it is that you're after, and make sure that you have a way of measuring success. And then make sure that you have your deadline set. And we've talked about this before, SMART goals. Look that up. There's a lot of great information on SMART goals. It's been around for a long time. And it just talks about how you really set good goals. And I actually have that all spelled out in my, I've got a goal setting workbook. You can download that. Nominal fee, it's less than $15 US. I can't remember the exact price. It's been out there for a little while now, but I've got goal setting broken down, a whole program around it, so that you get good, clear, crisp goals. You get clear about what it is you desire. You tie those goals to your value system, because then you're more likely to accomplish them. So take a look at that, download that. If you can't find the where I've got it pinned, forgot to do it this time. If you can't find where you have it pinned, just reach out to me, direct message me, and I'll be more than happy to get you the link to it. It will really help you get clear about the goals that you have, document them, and have something that you can refer back to and track your progress. I help you break those goals down from what you want to accomplish this year, break that down to what you're going to do each quarter, what you're going to do each month, what you're going to do each week. And so we work through it all the way down to, this is what I'm going to do Monday through Friday of this particular week that's going to move me towards those goals. So those big lofty goals get broken down into little bitty tasks and help you improve your focus. Know what it is that you're doing each day, and before you know it, the goal is done. You've already accomplished it. So focus helps you to it helps you to be more productive. It helps you to be clear about what it is you want to accomplish. It helps you in your learning process, and it helps you to achieve your goals. So, those are the benefits and some of the ways to improve your focus, minimize distractions. Have a place where you're going to do whatever it is that you're going to do. Have a time set aside for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Practice mindfulness. Have some tips and tricks like the finger exercise, finding those ridges in your fingers that can help you calm your brain. Take breaks. Don't be someone who pushes through when you're exhausted. Your work is not as good when you're struggling to process, when you're tired, when you're hungry, when you need food. um, you're just not going to be as sharp, as crisp. And so it's better to take a few minutes and to recharge, to give yourself what your body needs, so that you can do the best possible work. So taking breaks, doing your exercise, eating well, getting your enough sleep, drinking your water, all those things will help with your focus. And then you want to prioritize your task. It's okay to have a long list of things to do, but take that list and highlight the top 5. And then that becomes your active list. and then you can prioritize those 1 to 5 and work through it. And then you go back to the big list and grab the next 5. And you keep doing that until you've worked through everything that you've set out. And that will help you to keep from being so overwhelmed. All right. I think we have covered focus on today. It is Focus Friday. I see lots of comments from you guys, and I appreciate the engagement. Be sure to share the lives when you come on in the future. I didn't mention that this morning. It's recorded, so you can still share it. If you're seeing this after the fact, after the live is over, please hashtag replay and leave your comments. I will be back later on this afternoon and will respond to those. If there's nothing else, I want to wish you guys a wonderful Focus Friday. Peace to you also, Cassie. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a great self-care weekend. Take care of yourself. Tap in, feel what you need to do to recharge your battery, and enjoy your friends, your family. Do the things that make you feel good. And then we start all over. We'll do it again on Monday. I'll be back Monday at noon Central for Mindset Monday. Mondays I'm on at noon because I have a meeting at work at 7 a.m. And then Tuesdays through Friday, I'm on at 7:15, just like today. So with that, thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next week for Mindset Monday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.